Hi, everybody. Dr. Z here. I am reaching out as a second part of how to cope with the holidays with some ideas on what are some actually pragmatic things you can do to navigate this time of the year if you are finding that it's rather challenging. I think the first thing we have to do is give ourselves a lot of allowances to do things the way that we need to do them, and that includes making sure that we're holding boundaries. You can choose who to spend time with, who not to spend time with, reduce your stressful situations. You can choose to drive separately so that if you're becoming overwhelmed, then you can leave. A lot of people might have some expectations. You should be over it by now. It's been a certain amount of time. I think it's important for us to remember that we're allowed to be a priority when we are trying to take better care of ourselves. And I mean, it's a hard time of the year. It really is for a lot of people. There's a lot of pressure of we're all supposed to have a happy face, and we see things on the media, and you see things on social media, and we're gonna all wear the same pajamas and all the things. But that might not be, where you're at. And so that might feel a little counterintuitive. As a result of that, I think it's important that you remember to take very, very good care of your just basic needs right now. So make sure you're eating, you're showering, you're sleeping, you're hydrating. If you can get some form of exercise in, or just stretch your body and get up and get moving. Stay away from drugs and alcohol at this time of the year. Another thing that might be really helpful is to make lists and then to prioritize on those lists, figure out what you're willing to compromise on. You do not have to go shopping, shop online. You don't have to buy people things. You don't have to. It's okay if that's where you're at this year. Now, if you feel like you really want to, even though you may not feel like you have a whole lot of energy to do that, then okay, that's fine. Take your time, do it in maybe give yourself little chunks of time in order to do that. So I'm going to start here at 5 o'clock and I'm going to do this until about 5:30. Then I'm going to give myself a little bit of a break. There might be some traditions and some roles that people played that are no longer with you, and that's going to be a little disorganizing, perhaps. And so think about who might be taking over certain kinds of roles and responsibilities, and then have a conversation around that so that there isn't one person who's taking on everything. And the lack of communication around that can become problematic. Going along with um, communication, reach out to your support system, but only those people who are going to be supportive to you, not the ones that are going to be like, well, at least he's no longer in pain. Well, you know what? I just kind of want him here. So it'd be helpful to make sure that you're able to lean on them. And I know sometimes we feel like we're going to bring somebody down around the holidays. They're celebrating, so maybe we're feeling a little bit of a little selfish, or um, we don't want to bug them or being a burden. Find those people that you know are going to have an open heart, are going to be able to hear you. And if you can't find a person in your life that can do that, find a group, find a support group in the community, or find some, a professional with whom you can talk. But you don't need to have a professional in order to grieve. We get through grief. It sucks. It feels terrible. And the holidays are a reminder that that person is no longer with us in a lot of cases. I think also remembering to find ways to bring your loved one into the holidays. I'll give you an example. Maybe you light a candle. Maybe you have a place setting at the table. Maybe you make an ornament or a wreath or some kind of memorial, a, a memory box. Include children. If you're going to go ahead and include children, not only in allowing them to do some kind of activity during the year, but it also could prove helpful for them to have a code word when they're feeling overwhelmed, and maybe even a point of contact person they can go to so they know that if they're having a hard time, they have somewhere that they can go to. And then, if this happens to be a child that that child is going to have the support that he or she might need. Don't forget to acknowledge that that person's no longer with you, or that relationship is no longer intact. It's okay to acknowledge it. And then finally, It's okay to be okay. It's okay for you to enjoy the holidays. Trust me, you'll have plenty of time to go back to not feeling real great, but it's okay to have those moments. So trust your gut, follow your intuition, and take care of yourself while you take care of others. And I hope that this holiday season is as best as it can be. If you have any questions, any comments, any thoughts about what I'm saying here, any other ideas, go ahead and place those in the comment section. Okay. And thanks for joining me for just this little brief um, opportunity to connect to you and yours. All right. Talk soon.